Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in to the show here in the evening time. In the chair, no such thing as racism. You got to peep the shirt. You'd be surprised. At this point, I don't know what it is. It's not even a controversial shirt. And people, I got interesting looks. Interesting looks out in the world. With the message, no such thing as racism, they looked at me like a dog does when you start making funny noises or something. And they go like this. Yeah, I got whatever. You can get yours, rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. It's true. No such thing. It's true. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm in the chair, so you can call in at 888-775-3773 if you want to jump on the line there and get on hold. I will get to the calls. Make sure you like, subscribe here on YouTube, and hit the, get in the chat, leave a comment. Do your best to show some decorum on your way in, okay? I know that you don't have to do you don't have to put your shopping cart back. You don't have to. You just get up as soon as before the plane even's ready or the flight attendants are even ready. You just get up. You just start opening it up. You want to be first out the door. You push into the subway before letting people out. Okay, fine. America's changed, but you still can like the stream on your way in. Show a little decorum. Appreciate you being here. I am live on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby if you'd rather watch there. dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. And punchy.tv. We're learning coding, folks. How about you learn to code? Remember they're saying how to learn to code. We got any Nuxt developers, any Vue developers? Pretty fascinating stuff. Pretty cool stuff. We're learning coding, and anyways, punchy.tv, it grows, it evolves like a monster. No. Like a awesome piece of code that we have streaming this show right now, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Appreciate you being here. Let me, with all that, I'd like to dive right in to what's on the Anchor Baby's mind. I'm scrolling, I'm skimming. Oh, I'm scrolling, I'm searching, I'm browsing, I'm skimming with our friendly ladies at the Skim. And I'm reading, I'm skimming, and I see the ladies, I see some stink. Oh, I see over there, the ladies at the Skim, they're all worried. I see their brows are furrowed, and they're looking at their phones, and they're worried. They're a little worried. But feeling maybe even a little hurt as they look at the news. They're saying parenting is horrible for your health, and we got the experts with the data. Well, whatever. They're just saying it. They're just saying it, I guess. They must have data, right? Must have sources, right, bro? They always have sources, right, bro? Surgeon General says parenting is horrible for your health. And just to kick it off here a little lighthearted on the world. Okay, check it out. Surgeon General says parenting is horrible for your health. You know this guy, right? You've seen him. 𝒏𝒊𝒄, and not the very based and manly, and what, head of his is 𝒏𝒊𝒄 Ramaswamy married? Right, 𝒏𝒊𝒄 Ramaswamy, not to be we're talking about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍�, the Surgeon General, not to be confused with the head of his wife, 𝒏𝒊𝒄 Ramaswamy. Why am I laughing? I don't know. Maybe he's the head of his wife, right? That's not a rare thing, right? In today's world, that's not a rare thing, no matter in the Christians and in the bodybuilders, the soldiers, I don't know. That's not a rare thing. But anyways, not to be confused with that alpha male. We're talking about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍𝒔. And he, too, is a brown man. But that's neither here nor there. He's the Surgeon General. And he's telling people that the data's in. You parents out there, it's hard. And he stresses the mothers here a couple times. It's hard, ladies, and it's affecting your health. It's affecting your health. Okay, so this is the same guy, if you remember. What's with this succession? It's been a succession now, right? 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍𝒔. Who was the guy before 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍𝒔? Surgeon. It was another brown man? Well, hold on. What do you guys call brown people? In Canada, brown people are Indian. Okay, so I got some Canadian training in me a little, okay? I know brown over here is like Mexican. But I just use brown in the third, and it's even lesser known tertiary meaning, maybe. Black? Who was Surgeon General before 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍𝒔? He too was a brown man. Jerome Adams, wasn't he talking about his mama? My mama. Jerome Adams, he didn't say it like that. He doesn't have that kind of voice. He doesn't speak that way. My mama. She said something about your mamas and masks, probably. And what's with the succession of they're feeling Surgeon Generals who put out this stuff. Remember 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍𝒔 was the one who was saying something about loneliness. He was saying it's an epidemic. It's so lonely. So parenting is hard. Now America's doctor is acknowledging just how difficult things are by issuing an official Surgeon General's warning, saying that raising children can be hazardous to one's health. It's so challenging that nearly half of parents can barely function due to a combo of loneliness, money woes, and general stress, according to 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒍𝒔's new report. And they're saying they're consumed by worries regarding money. And that's like the overwhelming percentage. We're talking like almost 70%. That's what they're worried about. When you look at surveys, if you look at some of these things, sometimes I take a gander, and that is the main thing between married couples, families. It's money, and that could mean a number of things, I'm sure. Quality of life, but also just woes. Like for example, one of these ways money is a big topic amongst married couples, at least according to some surveys and all that, is, let's say the woman makes more money than the man. Huge factor for divorce. Imagine that, if you didn't know that one. Huge factor for divorce is if the woman makes more money than the man. That's one of these big indicators. And these divorce stats are quite skewed. It is just looking at married couples. It's different. These surveys and all that. It's a smaller subset of the population, sure, but whatever. Women do initiate the majority of them. But anyway, look. We're talking about the stresses, and it's funny how this is the biggest stress, the money, and then all these other little things. And what does the government focus on? Everything other than the money, which I'm sure there are varying levels of pull yourself up by the bootstraps that can be said. But we're talking about the government. This is the government talking to us. It's like, okay, we'll handle all that. What are you doing about things being so restrictive and on the people trying to have, on the parents, okay? My initial thoughts on this, let me show you this clip real quick. Vivek on this. And he's talking about this warning with the parents and it's and what's the big old deal here, Vivek? How's their health being affected? What's going on? See if you could give us some insight. Vivek talking to this guy.
So what are the
oh, nice. It works. It works amazingly.
specific stressor?
Wow, and it's not like blasting. Usually this would be blasting. Maybe I did something. Look, ignore all that. We got a video.
What are the challenges that this generation of parents are facing in particular?
So there are some of the traditional ones that all generations have faced, worrying about a kid's safety, worrying about how to manage the teenage years, which aren't easy, and financial worries as well. But there are some new ones that this generation is contending with that my parents, for example, didn't have to deal with. How do you manage social media and phones? How do you manage the mental health crisis that kids are facing in terms of depression and anxiety, as well as the loneliness epidemic that's hit kids particularly hard? We're also hearing that the scourge of gun violence is particularly affecting kids as well as their parents. More than half of our children are worried about a school shooting taking place. But you compound all of this, Jeff, with the fact that we are living in a time where the culture of comparison has become intensified, particularly by social media. And so parents are looking online. They're seeing parents who, to their eye, have perfect lives, who aren't struggling with any of the challenges they're dealing with, and they're feeling even more inadequate about their life.
You mentioned how the mental health of parents and caregivers is inextricably linked.
Okay, yeah, we don't need all that. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. But look, the culture of comparison. I had to show you a little bit of that. The Surgeon General. And this succession of beta male Surgeon Generals, look, the culture of comparison. Let's just start right there. Let's start the nitpicking right there, huh? And then you can nitpick the nitpicker. It cuts both ways. But whatever. The culture of comparison, so justifying envy, They got these. He's talking about these new things the parents got to deal with. Yeah, how about the things that you've put on the people? Government, hell-bent on spending. Remember, they just love spending right now. Not only just that, but messing with the whole supply of labor, who's getting it, moving money around, subsidizing, making things expensive for the normal, law-abiding people. Hell-bent on spending on wars, all on a taxpayer dime for illegals getting homes. You're hearing all these things. The point about that is it's a government hell-bent on spending on things that you can't really just buy. You just can't. You can't. Oh, homes are expensive. You got to build more homes. It's simple. It's simple. Supply and demand. Just build more homes. Kamala even pledging more homes. We'll see how much of a dent that even makes if they even get close to what they're claiming. Besides that, subsidies already saying, remember, they're saying something like $35,000 for first-time home buyers. More subsidies, making things expensive. Look, the point with that is a government that wants to spend like this is trying to buy things they can't buy. It's just not there. The production is just not there. The people, the workforce, the supply lines and the labor all working enough to produce enough is just not there. It's you know what I'm saying, folks? It's not something you can even purchase just like with money. It's just not there. And you don't need to be all that complicated to see that. Where was I? Justifying envy. You're just comparing. It's so hard on them. They just got to compare themselves, and they're just not they feel inadequate. And they feel inadequate, so we got to do something. Because it's wrong they're feeling inadequate. That's their world's fault. gun violence, loneliness, mental health, social media. Yeah, that's the parents' fault. Social media. Parents' fault, mental health. Parents' fault, the loneliness. Gun violence, okay, to a degree, right? Badly raised people, criminals. Where's this gun violence happening? Where's this gun violence happening, though? Where are these schools that are scared, that are terrifying to go to? You're worried your child might get shot. It's not all schools. Usually more ghetto, usually more Hispanic, usually more black. Okay. Which, again, the point is, it's the parenting fault, right? Culture. Okay. Where was I? Government hell-bent on spending. It's on things that are just not there. They're focusing on the leak in, like, I suspect, a malicious way. Focusing on the leak, not dealing with some of the sources or what the government can even focus on, which is what? Economic stuff, normal things. Let me move a little faster. All this paid, this is the point here too, to bow tie this. They talk about all this paid stuff, this paid leave, child tax credits, and support for the parents. But you got to understand, these are basically Band-Aids. Like they're fine usually. They're fine in terms like, let's say your company offers these things and they're just a company that's decided to do it like this. It makes financial sense. Take the help. It's help for the family. Take the leave. I don't know. But you got to understand where this messaging is coming from. It's coming from the government. And what is the point here? It's that all this paid leave, this mentality of child tax credits, and we got to move, which is what? It's just we got to well, not the tax credits, but in other ways, subsidies, taking from those who have to give to others because we're trying to make this work. And what are they trying to make work? What are they trying to make work? Remember, what is this being proposed as a solution to? A replacement of the family. A replacement of the family with broken ones. Okay, with not to say, not discounting that there's already broken families, divorce. Don't they say that like half of marriages end in divorce? Like, that's crazy. So on top of that, it's like, we got to try and make this work. We got to subsidize it, which is going to make more of it, broken families. And what is this all a proposition to? A replacement of this family system. That's why this parenting is so difficult. A replacement of this family system of the father, the head, the mother, the children, the mother raising the kids in the home. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's a replacement to, or at least a proposed one. And so when it's all kind of falling apart, you're trying to pick up all it's like a person trying to just hold away too many eggs and they keep dropping and they're just trying to pick them up. But we're supposed to call that normal, right? We're supposed to call that normal, okay? It brings me to 888-775-3773 if you want to get in on the conversation. It reminds me a little bit about Kamala Harris. Speaking of broken families, I mean blended families. My bad. I mean blended families. Blended families. I don't mean broken, my bad. It's time for a change. It's just time for a change, some say. You know what I mean? Don't you know? It's 2024. And that means it's time for a change. Don't you see a black woman trying to run to be president? It's time for a change. I'm telling you, it's time for a change. Don't ask me why.
Good. Do you mind answering just a quick question why you came and what you like about Harris' platform?
Just very excited about moving forward and all the energy and excitement that's around this movement right now. So that's why I'm here, because it's time for change, and it seems like it's happening.
You think she'll be able to sustain the momentum post-convention?
For sure.
You think the race is going to be close?
It's going to be close, but everybody's motivated to work and make it happen. So, and she and Tim Walz are just incredible candidates. All right.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, man. See you.
Thank you, Ben. Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller, it's time for a change. He says, it's just time. It's just time for a change. And I low-hanging fruit maybe. But it has to be pointed out that these are your neighbors. These are your fellow Americans. Ben Stiller says he's voting for Kamala Harris, despite her being in the White House, vice president to Joe Biden. And that's been a recurring theme here. Just a disconnect with reality on who's in the White House right now. What's this talk about change? I mean, you guys are acting like you're not. Kamala Harris wasn't in the White House here, right? But the thing about this is that most people will see this. Ben Stiller will see this. Ben himself is going to see this. And he's just going to say, oh, I misspoke. I just misspoke. Well, I meant this. I meant that. I meant to say this. We all know the truth. This is how deep most people are. Maybe the anchor baby included. Maybe that, to be fair. But this is how deep most people are. Ben Stillers of the world. What is this? Wouldn't he be like smiling maybe? Would he be one of those people smiling? Were there people smiling when people were being thrown in the gulags? Maybe, right? Probably. They're terrorists. Of course, they got to go in. Throw them out into the cold. Throw them out into the cold. Okay, the Ben Stillers. They say, this brings me to Kamala. They say that she's just like her dad. You've been hearing some of this? They say that Kamala Harris is just like her Marxist dad. You've been hearing some of this line of attack? I want to tell you a little bit about it. Hey, appreciate it, C-Sal. Wait, hold up. I got some super chats. Thank you so much, C-Sal. Says, Nico, thanks for helping poor Hake with his show this morning. # minorities serving whites. Right on, C-Sal. You know it. The Bible told me so. To serve your fellow man and that includes the white man. And that's not an offensive thing. Where's Josh? Is he in here? Snake Pit. What's his name in chat? I forget. I'm just remembering that conversation with Mark about blacks being made to serve and what is it? I said that, why am I even going into this? Whatever, we're opening the can of worms. It's not even a can of worms. But look, I'm just remembering saying that Mark, I heard Josh kind of repeat something maybe I said about thinking Mark thinks he's better than blacks. But you got to understand, I'm not thinking that's even racist. That's just, he said, you can't deny that he said that. But he's not saying that, I don't think in a hateful way or a racist way, or it's just an evidentiary thing for him. It's just evident to him. And can you deny on the facts, just on the facts, okay? We could talk about the spirit. Anyways, look, racism, no such thing. I'm trying to tell you here, there's no such thing. And CSAL is thanking the minorities for serving Hake. Whatever. It's not everything's updated. It's getting updated. It'll be great. Let's see here. Thank you, Chaos Confessional. You'd think Nit was black. Always late. They say I'm the blackest one here. They say I'm the blackest one at Bond. And, that's for a number of reasons. So appreciate the super chats, support over there on Rumble. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we will be going live tomorrow, 4 p.m. for a flight. We're taking off. Most likely, Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did the maintenance. We did the maintenance to the planes. So we're taking off tomorrow. Don't miss it. And that's it from our super chatters. Thank you. Okay. Kamala and her dad, I really wanted to tell you guys this. This is actually pretty interesting. You've heard a lot about families, and there are some very just interesting things I've learned about the family, mothers, fathers, and how it all fits. Kamala and her dad, they say he's this Marxist guy. And that very well may be true. I don't know the specific accusations here if I can. But I wonder if he's as radical as what I'm about to describe. Because check this out. You keep hearing about Kamala's Marxist father and how much she's too a Marxist and as radical because of this tie to her father. And they just saying all this. That she's just as radical. Look, she was raised by this Marxist. I'm leaning back. We're leaning back, okay? It's Thursday, basically Friday. We're leaning back in the chair, as you can see. It's a popular vein of attack here, pointing out her father had some pretty interesting ties to some radical thinking, okay, they say. And the other day I was giving some of my thoughts on her speech at the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. I was giving my thoughts. I had listened to it, and she spoke about her life. She spoke about her upbringing, and she showed her blended family. What a mess! And her husband spoke, supposedly going to be the first gentleman. I feel like doing a hake report. Oh gosh. I pointed out how her radical thought, in my opinion, and maybe one day I'll know this to such a level where maybe my way of speaking changes. I pointed out how I'm pretty sure her radical thoughts came from a much simpler and realer source, a much more relatable source. My voice went out in my headphones. Wow. Jesse's not making this up. You ever hear Jesse say, my voice went out in my headphones? And then he says, Bill, pretend to mess around with either that or we're both having pressure changes in our ears. I was going to say medical emergencies, but Jesse's strong like an ox. I'm sorry. Sorry, so distracting. Radical thinking. Let's bring it back. I was pointing out when I was thinking about and talking about Kamala, how the source of this radical thought is closer to home. And realer than some Marxist ideology and even anything like that. It was passed down in the home when she became angry at her father. Remember in the speech, she's talking about how she was raised by her mother. She was young when they moved away and the father, and she said this before too, they not necessarily raised like that by her father. So she became angry at her father, but not before she became angry at her mother. She became angry at her mother, but you wouldn't be able to tell. You wouldn't be able to tell because mothers brainwash their children. So what you end up seeing is a daughter who looks like a good daughter in a sense, right? But these are the textbook markers. They feel their mother's struggle. They identify with their mother's struggle deeply. And you wouldn't be able to necessarily even be able to tell that it's anger at first, but what happened is Kamala began to identify with her mother, saw her struggles, felt like it was an injustice, saw the struggles of the women around her. She spoke about this, and the people that her mother had to lean on. Saw other women in her life struggling, and even abused and sexually abused and by their own father and other men. And she took on all that and says it's the reason she became a prosecutor. I think I'm vindicated here. Check this out. Daily Mail. Interesting little story. Don't know if this was ever revealed before, but Kamala Harris's father. Some deets on the father, and it's so interesting. Look, the deets are a story. If you've been listening, I don't know. Some of us have been going through the JLP school of life. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm talking about really. All I mean by that is watching your life and being really observant. And when you're listening to these calls on the show, really kind of drawing those lines, like how we're all the same. We're all affected by the same spirit, the same ego in the mind that was given life by our overreaction to life and the anger that fueled it all. Okay? And this is the type of anger that fuels this anger towards fathers. And this is just, and the details of this with the father and Kamala Harris is a story you've heard, if you've been paying attention, on the Jesse Lee Peterson show and beyond, on the network, over and over again. So here's a little bit, Daily Mail, and an all too common tale, this is the Daily Mail now, a father and daughter who live in the same city but might as well be a million miles away have drifted apart for whatever reason. Yet this particular domestic fissure is suddenly but now more poignant as the daughter in question is the vice president of the United States and running for the top job. While Kamala Harris campaigns from her West Wing office, her 86-year-old father, Donald J. Harris, owns a home less than a mile away. Despite the proximity, however, there is no record of Donald meeting his famous daughter in the White House. His name does not appear in any of the publicly available visitor logs from her 3.5 years in office, nor are there any recent public photographs of the pair together. It is, of course, possible that the VP has been privately hosted by her father in her government-provided home at the United States. Let me do something here. Hold on. Just reading something out here. Bada boom. Let's go. Okay, but of course, it is of course possible that the VP has privately hosted her father in her government-provided home at the United States Naval Observatory, but it is perhaps more likely that Donald has kept a deliberate distance, determined to stay away from what he has described as political hullabaloo surrounding his daughter, whose controversial comments he once criticized as a travesty. For her part, Harris has previously described their relationship as not close, and at the Democratic National Convention, Harris formally accepted the party nomination. She made a brief but perhaps telling mention of her father. After telling the crowd that her father had encouraged her to be fearless, she added, "It was mostly my mother who raised us." Okay. Big blended family. It was not clear. Big blended family. The Donald Harris was glaringly absent. It was not clear if he had been invited or whether he chose not to come. Kamala would have had good reason to hope he stayed away. Her father, who turned 86 the day after his daughter gave the biggest speech of her life, is a former professor of economics whose politics do little to persuade the Democrats' critics that Kamala is not a proponent of hard left beliefs. See, even this article is expressing some of those claims and trying to claim that her Marxist influence comes from the father. It was not clear. Okay. Her father turned 86. Hard beliefs. Okay. Forged in 1960s academia, his aggressively Marxist outlook makes him a lightning rod for attacks by Republicans. But whatever the true reasons, Donald Harris remains strangely missing from the public story of his daughter's life. And here's an interesting, and this is the final part here real quick, about this man's relationship with Kamala Harris's mother. Back in, let me see here. He went to study in London before earning a PhD from the University of California, Berkeley. In 1962, he met Shyamala Gopalan, Kamala Harris's mother, 19 years old at the time. They married the following year, had Kamala in 1964. As he was enjoying professional success, his family life was starting to unravel. According to Kamala's 2019 memoir, her parents stopped being kind to each other around this time. When she was just 5, they split. See, that is such an interesting comment. Something I hear. I've actually asked quite a bit of couples, especially if they're not together anymore, what were the markers, what were the signs, what really kind of ended it all? And it always is, how do I put it? This might be a duh, but like contempt. Actual resentment and contempt, there was like no coming back. Once you were nasty to each other, once whatever you were feeling inside, you felt no shame, just letting it out. It's pretty much over. And you can imagine what kind of marriage stuff they were going through, if you know anything about that. Look, I want to say real quick, let me finish this up. They split. They stopped being kind to each other. And Donald remained in Illinois while Shyamala and the 2 girls moved back to California. They officially divorced when Kamala was 7. You got to wonder, that must have been, was that tough? Did she keep the kids away? Well, we actually have some info. By Donald's account, he wasn't happy with the arrangement. Wow. She took the kids and went off to California. He didn't want that to happen. In a 2018 essay for Jamaica Global website, the father here recalled how the early phase of interaction with my children came to an abrupt halt in 1972. The mother just picked up, left. He says in the same essay, Donald blamed the court system in California, writing, after a hard-fought custody battle in the family court, the context of the relationship was placed within arbitrary limits imposed by a court-ordered divorce settlement based on the false assumption by the state of California that fathers cannot handle parenting. See, he's not that radical. He's a man. The way there's some sense. They call him a Marxist. So you see, it's actually her overreaction, her adopting her mother's grievances against the father. That is the source of these actual radicalism. This type of radicalism that wants to destroy the family. That's making it tough for the ladies at the skim. That's raising betas like the Surgeon General. You understand? It's all connected. It's all connected. It's all connected. He blamed the court system. Nevertheless, I persisted, never giving up on my love for my children or reneging on my responsibilities as their father. You got to wonder what happened, right? And I bet you we know. The evil of the mother that's so ignored. It's the spirit behind this socialism, this degeneration amongst the people. And it's coming from hell. It was talked about back in Genesis. It goes way, way back. Don't take it personal, ladies. You have a way back home, too. You heard it before. It's true. I've seen the ladies working on themselves. You have a way back home just like the men, so don't trip. It's just how it is. But hell's coming through, y'all. Hell's coming through the ladies, raising betas. And you got Kamala with this chip on her shoulder, feeling for her mom and the ladies in her life, ready to tear it all down. That's what's going on, okay? Let me see here. And they're trying to say it's the Marxist father. No, it's a traumatized daughter and an evil mother. She's so sweet. She's just a sweet little 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. She's little and sweet and little and sweet. And can I say something about people who are little and sweet? I think I'm starting to suspect something. There's no such thing as nice and sweet, I think. Or am I just being a little, oh, Nick, whatever, what are you talking? I don't think there's such a thing. Like, think about it. Nice and sweet. Okay, maybe there is. But here's where I'm coming at it from. Have you noticed that you can't really be honest with nice and sweet people? Which, fine, maybe that's an issue with you. But here's what I'm trying to get at. I'm thinking about the people who are unable to tell their mothers the truth, who can't even forgive them. They'll say, but she's so nice. I don't want to hurt her feelings. She's so sweet. I couldn't do that to her. You know what that person is? That's a terrorist. That's just as bad as someone who you got to walk around eggshells because they'll blow up on you. Because you're worried about hurting their feelings, that means you know that they're weak. And guess what? Weak people are terrorists. Weak people are terrorists with their feelings. And I don't know if there's anyone good who's sweet and nice and weak. And if you and you know, that's you being weak too, but that's the evil in you being terrorized by the evil in this sweet little person. Have you noticed that? That's a terrorist. That's you're walking around eggshells around the terrorist who's using their emotions against you. And there's, people may not have total awareness of what they're doing, but, after a certain number of years and decades, there's a point where you got to get, I have this thought where there's a point where you get old and you just become, how do I put it? Sure, unable to change, but you just give up. You just become nasty. And there's some part of you that knows that people that you're like, oh no, don't be nice to me. Don't hurt my feelings. You're terrorizing people. You're being a terrorist. You're being an emotions terrorist. You know what I'm saying? That's terror. And not because she's just a little brown lady. She's Indian, right? They don't blow themselves up. They don't eat the cows. And amongst other things. Emotional terrorists, okay? And that's what I had to say about all that, okay? That's what I had to say about all that. Okay? I want to move on here. I want to switch it up a little bit. 888-775-3773. If you want to get in on the conversation, we got kind of a fascinating story here for you. Look, who'da thunk? We're talking. It's kind of incredible, but look, in its shamelessness, this next story here. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that notification bell. We're taking off tomorrow. Flight. Let me see here. That's all the support for now. I wanted to say, where was I? Let's see here. Yeah, this next story, Shameless. It's amazing. The story of Stacey Clark. You hear about this? And we're going to, oh, no way. I must have missed this part. We're going to Toronto for this one. What's up, T-Dot? We got Canada in the chat? I think we're going to Toronto for this one. Where my Badman at? So anyways, Toronto's police, the police force's first ever black female superintendent, and it went bad. It went so bad. Do some Google Street View of what? Keep relaxing in the chair. Look at me. Lean back. Okay, soggy fries. Are you talking about poutine? Do you guys even know what that is? Putin. And no, I'm not talking about Vladimir. Where was I? Police force's first ever black female superintendent is demoted over cheating scheme to help fellow minority cops get promoted. It went bad. It went bad. It's interesting. Must have blatant enough to blatant enough to get in trouble. Don't you know, Stacey Clark? Don't you know that there are ways to cheat like this? Don't you know you have to be the government? Stacey Clark, sorry. You start letting in your black friends. Not the ones you get to pick. Don't you know the blacks? it's just a false sense of what's the word I'm looking for? They're giving you this false sense that you are being given something, what's rightfully yours, your rightful place in society. Sorry, no, you're being used, and actually pushing you further into a second class that some of you so, not all of you, that some of you so decry and are say is happening. You're doing it to your it's being done to you by the ones you're voting in, the ones you think are not doing that. And I'm talking about this black female superintendent who thought she could bring in all her black friends and bring them up in life and do and implement affirmative action and give them what's theirs, maybe. No. Don't you know that that's not even what's happening? That's only allowable by by not you. You don't get to pick. You don't get to pick, okay? It's still supremacy by your experts and the talented tenth amongst you and non-Christians and whites and women, radical feminist women and others. No, you're still not the masters of your own destiny how you should be. Still on a plantation. Should I keep it going? Anyways, look, I'm talking about this first female superintendent. I see calls coming in. I appreciate it. 888-775-3773. We'll get to you. And she is letting in all these people. She will now serve the Toronto Police Service's first black female superintendent, hit with a 2-year demotion following a scandal that saw her help other black members of the force cheat a promotional process. This 26-year veteran of the police service received the penalty at a police tribunal hearing in downtown Toronto. She will now serve as an inspector, down 1 rank from her old position, not even removed. Officials said she will be showing Toronto that she does not care about a fair application of standards. You know what I mean? A kind of a job requirement here, maybe. But it's okay. We'll just make her inspector. Outside the agency's headquarters, Clark said she planned to take time with her 17-year-old daughter, blah, blah, blah. And it is what it is, the newly minted inspector told reporters outside the police. I'm just very disappointed. I'm very sad about it, apparently. She added how she regrets leaking interview questions and answers to the 6 black officers she'd mentored for the 2021 promotions. This comes after a hearing this spring where she insisted she acted out of desperation to counteract what she called, here it is, anti-black systemic racism. That's what it was. See, that's how you combat the racism. You take these people, take what they have, take their jobs, make sure, they say equality. They say we got to make the police force, the government. Biden says it. It goes all the way to the top, folks. And they say all of these places, they have to look like America. But you notice it's not quite that. It's way beyond America. They're really skewing it against reality, trying to make it seem like these people are in places more than they're naturally represented in. And if you know anything about holding too many eggs up and using the system to prop up a lie, it kind of falls apart. You can see the evidence of it. You could see the eggs falling and the loose ends when it just doesn't work, okay? And that's a commentary on the decline of many things, and the police and crime is a huge one that you understand that's a huge one. Taking it back to Stacey Clark, this is the mentality of people, though. This is the mentality of these people. They don't care about white supremacist culture, which is fairness, which is anything like that. It's already an assumption of unfairness, and it's devoid of any rational thought. It doesn't even hold up to scrutiny because they try and go beyond the percentages. And, of course, ignoring the glaring basic of reality of For example, for something to work, it has to have someone with the correct requirements, or else it doesn't work. But no. Anti-black racism, they say, and combating that, under the banner of that, you can do anything to reality itself, to white people, to reality itself, public safety and things working efficiently be damned. It's the same thing with these Venezuelan gangs. You're seeing this incredible stories coming out of and I'm about to get to calls here, appreciate it. Coming out of where again? Colorado. Now they got gangs. Now they got these Venezuelan gangs. See, it's the same thing with this. In that the border, the state government, the people in the government, it's besides Alejandro Mayorkas, besides the border czar, Kamala Harris, radical enough themselves, all the people that report to them, all the people who feel bad for the migrants, the local elected officials, the city councils. I'm thinking about LA. These are people who they've very openly talk about how they use this language where someone's citizenship status shouldn't determine if they get X, Y, Z. And they said this for so many things. They shouldn't determine if they get education, a driver's license, hospital service, lotteries for homes. You understand? These people, all those positions I mentioned and the underlings under that are these people. Anti-black, they're anti-racists. Okay? Okay? Anyways, look, the same spirit, blaming, picking out a group and blaming them as the problem for a system that's not working. Picking out the employers and the world, for not giving, and Republicans or whoever, for not giving child tax credits and maternal leave and all that for a system that doesn't work. The family is broken. Same thing with this false idea that you can take people who start off at different places and just force them together. Let me get to this call here. Do appreciate you calling. I don't have your name or where you're calling from, but go ahead. Caller. Your name and where you're calling from. Testing, going once. I know I got somebody here. Do I have it muted? What's going on? Let's see here. Caller. Call me back. Maybe it's that. Test. Hope I'm not doing something wrong here. But anyways, anyone who was trying to call me there, 888-775-3773. Let me see here. That's pretty much that. Okay. Let's keep it pushing here. Okay. I hope I'm not. Let me see. Do I have everything on? Do I have it all on? I do. I think. I don't think it's me. 888-775-3773. If you want to talk here. Can we talk about the wives here for a moment? Can we talk about the ladies? They say some of them put their men in bad positions. How many rappers, or no, not even rappers, shall we say CEOs of more illicit companies. How many of these young, talented CEOs of illicit companies have been found out because of their girl, because she was posting on social media and had their location on, and now CEOs of a rival company pull up on them. I'm sure this is a story all too maybe it's kind of I don't know if it's too common, but I'm sure it's happened. In fact, I think I heard something like this, no? I don't know who it was, but wasn't somebody they got in trouble basically this because their girl was posting their location. And I'm talking about like gang stuff. Besides that, there was also it was a mobster, CSAL. Amazing. Besides that, Pavel Durov, this Telegram CEO, I heard some mess with that. We'll get into that in a moment. The ladies, this one's for the ladies. Or shout out to the wives. I mentioned Cheryl Hines the other day, maybe yesterday. Remember Cheryl Hines, RFK Jr.'s wife, who refused, apparently, unless I'm missing something here, is not Cheryl Kennedy, as she should be. Cheryl Hines publicly showing that she may possibly resent that RFK Jr. is the head of her, which is a fact, Cheryl, whether you like it or not. But maybe RFK showing he remains the head because maybe in some way, because he's like, whatever. Well, I don't know. He wasn't really like whatever, but he was. He's maintaining his support for Trump despite his wife's, signals and public signals that she's not happy, and then RFK having to go and say something like that too, like stop bullying my wife. So what? She doesn't like Trump. Basically, I'm kind of adding to it. And I remember pointing this out and going like, okay, you know what? This is one of those moments where the wife must stay quiet. and where the wife must stay quiet. Some of you may have even thought, well, Nick, that's just because she's going against Trump, you little Trump guy. You're just a MAGA brain rot guy. And you just don't like Kamala Harris and you like Trump. You're just biased and you just don't want her to throw a wrench in anything, okay? Because she's against Trump. That's why, Nick. You're not impartial. You just dislike Kamala. No. I just, no. My thing is against the women. The women should just be quiet. And here's the proof. Brittany Mahomes. Okay, I'm just messing around. That was a joke. My bias is not against Kamala. It's against just women. And let me show you another woman who should pipe down. Brittany Mahomes. No. Let me show you. I'm actually a little more principled than that. And I see calls coming in. I'll get to you. 888-775-3773. About to get to you. Let me finish this up real quick. Brittany Mahomes, do you know her? She's the wife of Patrick Mahomes. He's that, what is he, is a mulatto? I'm messing around. Patrick Mahomes, who is, maybe continues to be quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't he win? And then they lost, right? They won one, lost one. Maybe he's been a quarterback for them more than those two times, but those are the two Super Bowls, whatever, that come to mind. This guy, look, Kansas City Chiefs, married to Brittany Mahomes. She's in the news. Why? Because she's getting slammed over some Trump support. What? We got a Trump supporter? Quite possibly. And she's quite even maybe public about it. Public with her support for Trump. Brittany Mahomes says she doesn't give a F what people think of her amid public support for Donald Trump. And it basically kicked off because she liked. She did the crime. She did the just world-ending crime of liking and subsequently unliking an Instagram post from Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in recent days. Brittany Mahomes, who is currently pregnant with the couple's third child, reportedly double-tapped a post from Trump outlining the 2024 GOP platform, including bullet points such as keep men out of women's sports, so radical, and end the weaponization of government against the American people. On Friday, Brittany took to her Instagram story with a text-only post that didn't directly reference Trump or what she was biting back against, but addressed haters. Okay? Addressed haters. I mean, honestly, she wrote, to be a hater as an adult. And then further here, she's revealed and now let me continue this on a different article. She's tripling down, apparently. Brittany Mahomes has revealed how husband Patrick has taught her to ignore social media trolls amid controversy over her public support of Donald Trump. Oh, ain't that nice, no? Brittany Mahomes has liked multiple posts on social media over the last week supporting Donald Trump in the upcoming election, a position seemingly at odds with her new best friend, Taylor Swift. Oh, drama. Who cares? Who is dating Patrick's Kansas City Chiefs teammate, Travis Kelce. I learned it from the Hake Report. You're getting the hard stuff here on the Bond Network, folks. I think we learned on the Hake Report that it's Kelce, right? Didn't the father give in to the beta male? Anyways, on the pronunciation. So she's doubling down, liking multiple Donald Trump posts, and they're all mad at her because it's like, what? He's right. Donald Trump is right. What are you mad about? And she's doubled down. She's liking the post. She's also saying her husband has told her, don't worry about the trolls, honey. But what? Hold on. Well, hold on. Brittany Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes run two different plays on politics, according to Vanity Fair. Vanity Kevin. And according to this, husband Patrick Mahomes says that he would not speak publicly about his choice in candidates. I don't want to pressure anyone to vote for a certain president. Kamala Harris supporter. I want people to use their voice in whoever they believe in. Okay, yeah, no. I'm messing around. I don't know. Maybe he's a Trump supporter. He doesn't quite want to be, but just doesn't want to be quite as public about it like his wife. I wonder. So he's not saying who he supports. But before you call me impartial, unprincipled, or a woman hater, I think this woman should pipe down too, okay? Don't worry. It goes to everybody. Everybody gets it. I think she should pipe down a little bit. Because she's doubling down, feeding this thing, and they're just being more and more against her. And she's just like, whatever, I'm doubling down. And but her husband is quiet. And I wonder if they align politically here. Because if not, this is another one of those cases where you should kind of maybe be quiet. Even if she's a Trump supporter. You know what I mean? Because she's bringing on attention. Hey, maybe the husband can handle it. Maybe it's no big deal, but I'm just saying. He said nothing about it. So, you say nothing. Brittany Mahomes. Right on for taking on his last name, though. You know, Brittany Mahomes. What else about this? But, you know, they're saying there's a big rift between, you know, because what are they saying? That she's this friend of Taylor Swift now. But, oh, no. What is this? Don't worry. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. We didn't see that, Patrick. No. They're saying that Taylor Swift, obviously, she was very public about Biden. Apparently, according to sources, what a mess. We're talking about sources on the skinny on Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes. But I had to point this out. There's apparently a pact between them of never talking about politics. And the pact is to not talk about politics. Anyways, this is not that important. I'm moving on. You know, initially, I thought there was something here to talk about. Well, I was looking at this photo, and I'm thinking about their pact. I'm like, okay, so women are just totally fine with being fake. Just being fake friends. But whatever, what do I know? It's fine. It's like these people, they see each other a lot because their husbands see each other a lot. So, well, not their husband. I don't know if Taylor Swift is not married, right? But whatever. Keep the peace. It's probably for the best. Friends are fake anyways, right? Most are. The vast majority, 99%, are anyways, right? So, whatever. Let me get to a call here. Hey, caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Nick?
Hey, appreciate it. Jaime?
Hey, how's it sound?
I think it's coming in fine. Appreciate it, sir.
Okay, cool. Hey, you know, when you were talking about that JFK fella, you know, when Trump brought him on in RFK,
yes,
showed his support for him. Trump was all like, I'm gonna give you guys the JFK files.
He said that?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Wait, that's all. RFK.
You're gonna have a team to bring up the JFK files.
Trump announces renewed plan to release JFK assassination files. That's cool. You know what's cool about this too is because if people remember the story a little bit, what was significant is that Trump had made a similar promise to declassify a bunch of these files. I think even regarding other things, which is this transparency that a lot of people want. Whatever. The point. What was interesting about that is the original. Why he went back on it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he said something like, "If people knew, it would be bad."
No.
You wouldn't want to know.
That's what he said about it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Sure
I didn't even know.
like
But here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about that is Trump flipped on that, and his renewal on this is interesting because of Mike Pompeo. You hear about this?
No.
So it turns out Mike Pompeo, and this comes from Tucker Carlson and others, Mike Pompeo made a whole bunch of noise begging. He was the sole person too, begging Trump not to release this. Was it Mike Pompeo? Mike Pompeo. Wait, was it Mike Pompeo? Let me get this straight. But it was someone who was begging him not to release the JFK files.
Yeah, we got to have him.
Yeah, Mike Pompeo. Yeah, RFK Jr. said this himself. And it was with Tucker. And that Mike Pompeo pushed Trump not to release the JFK files. And it was just with this one guy. The point there being Mike Pompeo, to fair to say, establishment guy, connected guy. It was the voice of this connected guy, GOP establishment guy, who kind of pushed this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going on and on there. It's just an interesting thing.
It's good. But could you imagine the books that will be written with the real information? We're going to know if he was on the grassy knoll, or if it was that one guy.
Can you say that again?
We're going to finally get to know if the shot came from the grassy knoll.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think there's some... I mean, Trump himself said, I guess, that if people knew, that it would be crazy.
Yeah, or if all kinds of stuff. But also interesting is that Trump wants RFK as like the agriculture guy in his cabinet.
Oh, is that so? That'd be an interesting guy. I hear Musk, RFK, interesting energy injected into the cabinet. It'd be nice to see them actually have a part in it.
The RFK will figure out what's making us so ill. What is it? Is it in the food?
That would be nice.
Making our kids fat and
undo the
elderly,
FDA.
all kinds of stuff. When I heard that, I thought, man, this guy's going to win. These are big promises.
That is actually really cool energy into the campaign, man.
I don't know what he said about Elon Musk, though. Probably nothing yet.
I heard something about besides the X space they held, where Elon Musk said that he offered his services to make the government more efficient, basically like an accountability thing. Where's all this money going? I think there was even more commentary on that. Trump himself may have said something, alluded to a spot for Elon Musk in the incoming Trump cabinet. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. That guy's a smart guy. He could go anywhere, actually.
Yep.
Anywhere he'd be good. But I heard there's going to be another podcaster giving Trump an interview. I can't remember the name or anything, but that ought to be pretty exciting. But tonight, the big event, 8 p.m. here in Minnesota, they're going to release the Harris interview, the Harris Waltz interview.
Oh, is that today? That's right. I heard about that.
It's going to be exciting.
Oh man, you must be joking.
No, I want to see what she can do. I want to see, how she reacts. If
they ask her,
everybody's saying is true.
We'll see what they ask her. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see what they ask her. Hi, Minnesota. Last thing you want to say?
Nope. Have a good night.
Call me again, man. Appreciate it, sir.
Bye.
I'm asking ChatGPT. We're asking ChatGPT questions here. We're just asking ChatGPT some questions here. Is Mike Pompeo pro-Israel? Yes, Mike Pompeo is pro-Israel. During his tenure as Secretary of State under the Trump administration, he was known for his strong support of Israel. Pompeo played a significant role in the U.S. administration's policies that were favorable to Israel, including recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, moving the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem, and supporting Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. That's Pompeo, and we love Pompeo. Anyways, is Mike Pompeo connected to Mossad? I ask ChatGPT. I don't. It's just a crazy question. Okay, and obviously, ChatGPT assuaged any of my insane concerns and told me there is no publicly available evidence or credible reports to suggest that Mike Pompeo is directly connected to Mossad, Israel's national intelligence agency. Crazy questions for ChatGPT. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just insane, wacko, schizo questions. No, Trump, please don't release the JFK assassination files. Please don't do it. Huh? Why? Everybody want to see it more. Why? You wonder why people want to see these files declassified? I'm talking to Bill. Billy.
I mean, that makes you want to see him more.
That makes you want to see him more, right? Right. Make my Mike Pompeo like, please don't do it.
Like he's seen him.
Like he's seen him. Trump has seen him. Trump is like, they're crazy. Mike Pompeo is like, please don't do it. Like, why? Do you know anything? Hey, Bill, you know anything about nukes and JFK and nuclear programs? Nah, me neither. Let me unmute your mic. You want to say something?
No. The mic is off.
Oh, is the receiver off? Try this one. Right? What about this one right here? This one right here. You're not on camera.
One thing I heard was that JFK didn't need, like, he's like Trump, and like he didn't really need all the money. So special interests, he couldn't be so swayed so easily. And in a way, they didn't like him for that.
You know about JFK?
Yeah.
I've heard similar things.
Yeah.
Interesting. And
so it's just like they don't like Trump because basically he's got a lot of money. You can't be as easily swayed, you know. Same thing.
Interesting.
And there's a few other figures that were in the same situation.
I feel like I can't even think of specifics, but of ways he threatened this power structure you're kind of alluding to. But I can't think of any specifics. I'm trying to remember things I've heard.
Well, let's see. The next person, Nixon. Remember, Nixon was also like really, really, really popular. He's like the most popular president ever, and he was going to do something.
True, huh?
Yeah, and he was going to do something about the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
And the deep state set him up.
I didn't know
and
that.
took him out.
I did not know that. That's amazing. Yo. I didn't know that he was one of these, I guess, far and few between political actors who've mentioned this shadow government in some way, shape, or form. I'm thinking of, there's one that's a much older, right? The one that said, was it Woodrow? Who was it? About the military-industrial complex. There was a president before even JFK who warned on his way out about the military-industrial complex. There's a far and few between, I guess. I didn't know Nixon was one of them. That's so cool. Thank you. I'm going to have to do some homework. Yeah, the deep state, folks. Look, it's amazing. Appreciate it, sir. You can walk by. You're not even on camera. It's quaint. Appreciate that, Bill. Hey, we got super chats here real quick. Where was I? I got a call. About to get to you. Alicia Froman says, Trump 2024. Canada loves Trump. Rock on. And Trump loves Canada. My lovely, lovely Canada. My little Canada, place in my heart. Or I don't know if that's Trump or is that the anchor baby. But whatever. I'm sure Trump loves Canada. He loves all people. Let's see what else. Hold on, folks. Zapruder. Seasal. No, that was from earlier. Appreciate it. Let's get to another caller. I was speaking with Jaime. Where were we? Let's get to another caller. You're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
What it do, Nick?
Hey, Frederick, Los Angeles. A pleasure, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What's going on?
All is well.
You see that ring they locked up? They had six people running a car rental place, and it was from South America, and they've been in the United States for like 6 years doing crime. They just get these tourists to come from South America just to do crime.
Indigenous malice. I've been trying to warn the people. It's a different kind of malice.
They come from Peru, and they don't have to have no visas. They on these tourist visas, and they come in our city. They done racked up over $30 million. You know what I'm saying? And they got these people coming from Peru that looks like, I guess, not your average black or criminal. So they sneaking right under the police's nose until now. This has been going on for years, they said. It's a shame on the cops how they let all of this stuff happen.
So Crime Ring Crime Ring provided rental cars for crime tourists. A federal indictment states 6 defendants were part of an operation that supplied rental cars to thieves and helped facilitate 120 burglaries across 80 U.S. cities. So this goes across the country.
Yeah, that's black. That's black crime y'all thought was being committed. Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, it's just so sad that stuff like that happens, and it's been going on since it started when Trump was in office. I'm not gonna make no big cry about it. You know what I'm saying? He's hollering shut down the borders, but these ain't border jumpers. These are free, welcome to our country tourists, and they sneaking and they walking by and they not getting profiled because they're not dark and they just are running our country into the hole. Do you think we need to close up these loopholes?
Big time, but hold on, wait. We got to back up a second. I want to. I didn't even hear what you said. You said we got to close up what loopholes? Oh, with the border,
Peruvians in our country without a visa.
Yeah, man, big time. Look, they are. People don't understand. People don't realize just how bad it is and how the bottom has fallen out. They don't know how bad it can get. They don't know countries like Canada with 10% of the population, just how much has changed with these people who are not from here. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of crime. I've seen these videos in New York, for example, where I'm like, because I'm a little bit more, I just know a little, I've seen a lot of film, you know? I'm just like, those are some Dominican looking hands. That's not a black person. You know what I'm saying? These are some, you know what I'm talking about, man?
Dominican hands. What are those?
I'm saying, I just know these digits. When I know those paste, you know, their hairline when they have this certain type of hair where the curls kind of like, God. I'm just like, that's not a black person. I'm giving you a point here, Frederick. I'm like, yeah, this is a migrant. This is not a black person. This is a migrant. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying we should stop stereotyping, because if y'all only stereotyping a certain color, they're going to get the whitest color that y'all don't expect and then do the crime. Quit only thinking black people are bad because they do this. Y'all need to stereotype white people. Don't just look at those are Dominican hands. You see white hands, you think, oh, that's culturally right. What is culturally
I was giving you a point,
culture?
Frederick. I've seen a bunch of these
no,
videos.
You're
I'm like,
not. You're making it worse.
Nah, man,
like,
man, you're right, Fred. That's a Puerto Rican. That's a
you're making
that's
it
a
worse.
Venezuelan, bro. I agree with you, man.
Yeah,
these blacks are getting all this. They're getting all this stuff. But can I ask you a quick question, Frederick, please? Out of these 120 burglaries that this crime ring committed over all these years, 120 burglaries, and this is over multiple years, right? In fact, yeah, this is over multiple years, 120 burglaries. Tell me, Frederick, that they know of. 120, tell me, Frederick, how do you account, how do you explain the other 8,700 burglaries that happened in just Chicago last year? Well, these are 120 that were committed by this ring, okay? Tell me, Frederick,
I don't know
how do we
120
let's
year.
Let's do the math a little bit. Who do you think is behind the 8,700 in Chicago just last year?
Information wrong. I think you might have your information.
No, that's from Wirepoint, Illinois.
120 robberies this year. Or burglaries this year.
In 2023, Chicago recorded approximately 8,900. I'm just ballparking it. Let's remove 120. We're going 8,000, 8,880. 8,780. Tell me about those burglaries just last year in Chicago. Just Chicago.
Who are they? You don't even know the race on them. So how am I going to tell you about them?
Let's do a little assumptions.
Look, let's assume they was black, right?
Oh, okay, not all.
Yeah.
You think those were migrants? Let's go to another city.
What?
Let's go to another city.
You don't know the race, ain't no use of speaking about it.
Not necessarily, man, because Chicagoans themselves know this. Ask people from Chicago themselves. Ask people from Chicago. Ask police officers from Chicago. Black police officers from Chicago. Ask them. I think they waking up, and then for them to take 6 years to solve that crime, they got to be waking up. So sometimes God's plan just works like this. You know what I'm saying? The more homework you do, you find out, oh, we've been slipping for 6 years. We got to start targeting other groups now, because look at what they're doing to us under our eyes. They're killing our country and blaming another whole. Fair.
People.
You know what, Frederick? You know what? Let me go in. Let me lean into that. Let me lean into that a little bit, and let me say for a moment here. Let's say, you know what? Nick is wrong here. Nick is off base here, assuming about those 8,780 burglaries, right? And
no, you might be right on that.
But let's just lean into that. Let's lean into that for a second.
Okay.
So, do you know? I'll lean into that and say maybe I'm wrong for that. Can we apply the same standard here for a moment? Can we flip it and apply the same standard to Frederick? How do you, if we're applying that standard, do you know if blacks are being unjustly? I'm asking you a question. Do you believe? I'm asking you a question. Do you believe the blacks are being? How do you know the blacks are being unjustly blamed for what the migrants are doing? If you don't, do you know?
No, I don't know. What my point is saying, I'm blaming the cops. Do you know how many of those 87,000 crimes were solved?
Oh, man, we can talk about the cops, sure. I'm not sure.
No, we're talking about these crimes right now. How many of those were solved?
We could switch it. We could switch the
subject. How many are solved, Nick?
I don't know. Let me check.
We're talking about 120 of them that solved, and you comparing police forces sitting on their ass eating donuts. Excuse my language.
Hey, but who's fighting with you on that though?
You don't know what race or color they are.
Wait,
so
who's fighting you?
Comparison are
Who's
you
fighting
making?
you on incompetence of police?
Why bring up a
I just showed the people a black female the first black female superintendent. I agree with you on the incompetence of the police forces.
These are cops not solving crimes
And that's
because they stereotyping the wrong people sometimes. And then you bring up a case, but here's another 86 crimes that they can't solve.
You
think
asked me a
it's,
question.
Black people or South Americans?
You asked me a
You
question.
think it's South Americans? They might be Peruvian, Fred.
You asked me a
what
question.
What do you think about
May I
those
answer?
crimes?
You asked me a question. You asked me if I think these crimes are being unsolved because they're focusing on the wrong group. And I got to say, I think that's pretty off base. Like, I think it's a way simpler explanation, man. They don't care. They're not really trained. They're not really have the resources. The police are just not there.
Come on,
That's
don't put the police in victimhood.
No.
Now you want to
Frederick, if you just listen to me for a second, you would realize that I'm not even blaming the blacks here. I'm not even doing any of that.
You want to defend the police.
If you listen to me right now, Frederick, you would be all happy, clicking your heels, going, you know what, Nick, you're right. If you just listen for a second. So here I'm saying, I think it's a much simpler explanation. The police, that's just not there, Frederick. The will to really keep things safe is just not there. And that's...
You think they only want to be police when Trump's in office, then they stand up, but under a Democratic president, they don't care?
Wait, what? Who doesn't care?
How do you think Trump
police
is
at
a
large?
law and order president? How do you think Trump's a law and order president if the police don't care?
It comes down from the top. It does. It comes down from the top in this case. No, it does come down from the top in this case. It comes down to the. You're asking me why is it that police are more effective, or why is it that Republicans think that Trump would bring about a more law and order?
I'm waiting on the answer, bro.
I'm telling you because it comes down from the top. It comes down from
how the police get motivated when they want to work.
You're not even letting me speak.
You saying the police get motivated when they want to work?
He doesn't even want the answer. You scared?
No, you're saying they don't want to listen to the president.
No, you can't talk. If you ask me a question, it's my turn.
Go ahead, answer.
Okay, so you're asking me, how is it that I can even think, essentially, that Trump would bring about law and order? And here's the point. It does come down from the motivations and attitudes coming down from the top. Think about it, man. You got police chief and DA after DA, police chief after police chief that's soft on crime, says you gotta be... You got laws that let them steal up to certain amounts of time. You got these people who want to give bail to more and more violent criminals, to bigger and bigger. No, I'm not done. To bigger and bigger crimes. When you have that kind of attitude, it trickles down. The same thing goes for someone who wants law and order, and the same thing goes for.
How many chief of police did Trump replace?
You'll still have areas and cities and places.
How many chief of police did Trump replace?
Say again.
How many chief of police did Trump replace? The same people who's in office, they don't change the whole police force when somebody get in office. And you saying Trump goes to every city and gives them specific directions. Where do it come from the top? Just because they got a person, or does he need to tell every police force to do this?
No, he won't be
able to. He come out
with
a mandate?
No, he won't be able to, but that just proves that you have evil people running these places in some of these cities. And you've seen these places, man. You've seen these chiefs. They don't care.
The police don't care. You went from the police don't care that they get alert under the right leadership. How? Whose fault is that? Is it the leadership?
What are you talking about? The leadership common stance. I'm saying the leadership is wrong there. The leadership common stance.
Where's the integrity of the cop? They supposed to do their job regardless.
Right. So you agree with me that you have all these radical, lack of integrity, black police chiefs that don't care about, and white, and some white, that don't care about America and don't care about the rule of law. You agree with me? With no integrity.
I'm saying police supposed to do their job.
I agree.
No matter who they political person is. You know what I'm saying? You don't look for the president to see if you're going to go to work today or not. You show up anyway and do your job you get paid for.
But that's just a conspiracy theory you're throwing out. You think cops are not doing their job because Trump's not in?
It ain't
and they're waiting for Trump to be in? What are you saying? Think about what you're saying right now. Do you think cops are not doing their job because...
It's the job to motivate the police force and tell them what to do. If the president don't tell the police force what to do.
Wait, so then you are agreeing with me that it's up to... that if we have a president that's law and order, it would motivate police. Wait.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. They supposed to do their job.
You said they're supposed to do their job, and you're saying they're not because Trump is not president, but they will be motivated once he is. But you just got got finished. No, you're not. So then what are you saying?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
Listen
so what are
to
you saying?
Nick, I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're
Okay, so
saying
then what
the
are you saying
same
with that?
police are going to get motivated by Trump.
I wasn't
and they
saying
don't
that. You're
care
saying
under
that.
Biden. Right now, you're saying they don't care under Biden, but no, it does come from the top.
Whoa,
Right now, they don't care.
No, that got confused. I never said
That's what you
That's not how
said.
it started off. You were saying
You
that.
saying right now they don't care. The police don't care about the robbery. They don't care. But under Trump, he's law and order, but the same police don't care. No, they're going to get motivated.
But I never
from the
made
top.
such a claim, so we're moving on from that. We're not going to keep
okay.
running around in circles. I never made such a claim. I never said
Never
that
made what
cops.
claim?
I never made such a claim that these robberies, these 8,000 and plus robberies. You're the one who was coming up with that conspiracy theory. I wasn't.
No,
I
I
was
said they
making
don't
no
get
such
solved.
claim. I was making no such claim that these robberies are not getting solved because cops are not doing their job because Trump's not in office. That was you saying that.
But you said they don't care, right? You said the cops
Right.
don't care. It comes down to they don't care.
We both agree on that, and we both
All
agree.
right,
We
all
both
right.
agree on that.
Now, all of that you
And
just
we both
said
agree
you
that we
didn't
have
say,
that the leadership is wrong. And it's full of these black police chiefs and black hearted
Oh, my
police chiefs
God.
that don't
I
care about
never
the
said nothing
country
about no black-
and are
I
worried
never
about
said nothing
racism and they apply the law unevenly because of those beliefs. Yeah, we both agree.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you trying.
Okay, maybe we only agree partly.
Maybe
Maybe we don't agree on the why, but we agree on that they don't care. Yeah, we agree.
Right. I guess. Change is gonna come, and the new attorney general. It might have to be a black attorney general. You ain't never had one of them.
What do you mean change? Kamala's already in.
Yeah, but the attorney general she picking ain't in there. We ain't got her.
No,
cabinet
you're right.
in
Change is coming.
You see
Destruction.
them black jobs?
Fear,
Yeah,
destruction.
you about to see where them black jobs are about to come in. All them black jobs.
Oh, we
them
gonna
immigrants
see.
taking-
No, you're right, Frederick. Oh, we're about to see some of those black jobs. I agree, Frederick.
Yeah,
You're right
them
about
black
that.
jobs
Oh, we about to see some of those black
Nah,
jobs in effect. We about to see.
It's all good. It's all good. But nah. Everything's good. I just wanted to call.
Yeah,
and,
man.
Ask if you think that or not. It's all good.
We
I
should-
just let people be in their own little minds with things. You know what I'm saying?
There's something I respect about that.
earlier. Yeah, everybody got their own little world and what they see where they see it from. So you know what I'm saying?
That's true,
You
man.
push
I
them
could be
over a
blind.
few degrees, they'll see it a little different.
There's things
All
we have.
about
We have
changing
blind
your
spots,
perception.
sir. I'm sure I have them too.
That's
Frederick.
what's up. That's what's up.
That's why
Have
we
a
got.
good one.
That's why we got to hash it out. And now we see Frederick. It doesn't make no sense, man. But
I
sorry,
make all the
I had
sense.
to throw a nasty little quip there. We were about to end it on such a nice note, Frederick. Sir, call me again, man.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, Nick, you have a good one.
Take care, sir.
Thanks.
888-775-3773. Who's this? Who's calling me? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You say you want a love song, baby.
Oh, how
so
you doing?
I went and wrote a drug song, baby. Took me all night long, baby. You gonna like it. It's a nice song, baby.
Where you been, man?
You flirted with the kiss of death. You danced with the devil and you missed a step. I know you'd love me if I was crystal meth. I called you up like, do you miss me yet? But I guess for you, it was just a kiss. Because you answer the phone like, who the fuck is this?
Where you been, man?
Yo, in the lost and found. You ready for some jokes?
Yeah, man. Bring them on, sir. Nice to hear it.
Nice to hear you, Nick. I see you struggling, man.
Struggling?
I see you struggling. You've been, I see. For a while, you started getting tired. I thought you were losing interest.
Interest in?
In the show. You were getting so tired when the producer left. You did a lot. You looked like you were doing a lot more work.
Oh, you seeing the bags or something, man?
I'm just like you pushing the hours, changing the schedule. Then I see you getting a little sluggish, and I said, I told you were going to become the producer, and you left. I know you're picking up. Are you picking up a lot of workload there or not?
No. I mean, I'm running the board. I'm running the board for Jesse now, and that just changed. That just changed things a little bit, and I switched it to Friday.
It took you a while.
It
took you a while to switch it up and get but now you seem like you're in a good groove.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just like a splitting of audiences. I realized you just whatever you work on is what grows. If I stick to 12, people would have grown on that. If I did 4, it would be a little bit of a change, but that would grow.
I think the time shift was good because Jesse's like a morning show where a lot of YouTube is evening, and you're stepping in the evening and filling the slot for keeping that going.
Hey, man.
Pretty good.
It depends on who you ask. You know, it's a split audience. Depends on you. A lot of people want 12 back, man.
I see that the numbers aren't as high, but you know what? The quality's there. And for Fred, I want to do some jokes, but for Fred, I think Fred has become, and no insult to Fred, not a personal attack, but just observation. I believe Fred has become rich in the United States and still maintains his victim status, and somehow thinks as a black man, as a rich black man, he faces more hardships than a poor white does in the United States.
It's crazy.
I think it's not logical.
And no love. You would think you'd spread love out there, but instead it's just let me. It's just clouds of negativity that will weigh others down. And should they believe what he's saying? The second they believe what he's saying, it's over. They don't think for themselves. They stop functioning. And instead of spreading out love, it's just
it's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's controlled chaos. I think it's something that you don't want to lose your status. You don't want to lose your what is that card? Like your victim card or something. So you don't want to lose it. So even though you become wealthy, and you know what, I'm flying my $5,000 drone, but I'm still from the hood. It's like no. At some point you got to say, you know what, I can't relate to poor people, and he probably relates closer to wealthy people than anything else. But in his mind, he's been programmed to be, and no insult to Fred, but I think Fred is true. He's been programmed to think that you are infinitely a victim, and you were never a victim. It's something Jesse always says, you're not a victim.
Yeah, man.
Who was it who said, someone's athlete's wife came out and supported Trump.
Brittany
Mahomes. Started hounding her. And what did she say? She said something along the lines of, you refuse to heal from childhood trauma. And it's like,
Is that what she said?
Like that's what she said in her response. She said, adult haters have problems, and they can't move on from childhood trauma, and they refuse to heal from it. And it's like, yeah, this stuff is from your childhood, and you refuse to heal from it, and you're just living in like some negative, hateful stuff. And I don't think Fred is evil, or I don't think Fred is 100% chaotic evil on my D&D role playing, but I think that he does find not solace, but he does find like brotherhood in being oppressed and keeping those titles that Jesse says you don't have any of those titles. You're none of those things. But when you have those things, you feel like you have someone behind you. But I'm sure the wealthiest black people will tell you that they have to be even more wary than a wealthy white person does with who they keep around them. In the sense that even though he thinks he's part of a crew, you can't really be part of a crew when you're that wealthy, and people, it's like rich people never know if they really have friends. Yeah, there's a guilt. Rich people never know if they really have friends. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Something like that. So he still wants to belong, even though he's in a different tax bracket. Maybe 10 tax brackets guilt away.
And I don't want to, I don't know if he's really there, but yeah, I know what you're getting at. Saying, this, like rich people with guilt. He seems comfortable.
Not too many people in the project. When you go to the projects, you don't see too many drones. Fred seems like he's got something going on for himself, and good for him.
Well, I mean, come on, think about the average person in America, even like just having a job. You're pretty wealthy compared to the world. Like, you're pretty fat and sassy. You can.
Well, that's why so many people come here, and you just say, why is this person working like this? And they're sending money back to the country, because when it goes back to the other country, it's going back as 2 to 10 to 50 times as what it's worth here.
Yeah, man,
How many people work 6 months here and go vacation back in their home country 6 months and live like a king?
Yeah, man, people are a lot of wealthy people in America, and they don't know it.
I was worried about you, Nick. I thought you were going to join the panhandlers. This
guy's
getting tired. He might be with the vatos on the corner.
No. I am going to go, what do you call it? Not panhandling. No, but I do want to go.
Panhandling, we're begging.
No, but I want to, what do you call it when you use a pan and you look for gold? Panning.
No, panhandling, the guys at the gas station who beg you to go begging with them. That was a guy. Oh, it was a worker who had that story, right? Not you.
Why would I go do that?
No, didn't a worker at a gas station tell you that the guys wanted him to quit his job and go begging with them?
Oh, you heard about that? That was so funny. He wasn't saying that to me though. He was saying that.
Oh, okay. That's
one,
it was
one Mexican guy saying it too. So I was at the gas station and I
didn't remember it correctly.
It's the Shell gas station Mexicans. We have an ongoing relationship.
I thought you were gonna quit Jesse and go with them.
and I saw this other Mexican who's like just a local kind of bum. He's always kind of just sitting around, and he comes in and he talks to one of the Shell gas station Mexicans that I have an ongoing relationship with, and he comes in with his cup. And he looks all like extra brown from being outside, and the sun, the sun. And he comes in, and the Mexican gas station guy's like, yeah, dale, dale, like telling him, yeah, go, fill up your cup with a drink, no big deal, on us, on me. And then the guy comes back and he tells the gas station attendant, he's like, hey man, I see you here, echándole duro, working hard. I always see you putting in hours here, making a check. Come out here and beg with us. Come out to the street and beg with us. You'll make double. I swear, he was telling him that straight up. But that's what you're talking about. I remember
the story. I remember it as being you they were asking. But yeah, now that I think of it.
I'll do it for bond. Busking for bond. Not even busking, just begging. Begging for bond. I'll get double the money. Take the sinner's money, give it to bond.
Let me hit some more lyrics quick. Fuck the 36 chambers. I'm rocking with the 45th. The news talking about his mushroom tip because they're on his dick. Fake news, Biden's crush. Want to throw mud at the man with the Midas touch. Election year is here. Boy, your time is up. Lies always maximal. Truth on the minimal. Because the truth is innocent and these lies all criminal. Somehow COVID disappear. Into thin air. Goddamn, it's a miracle exposing 250 years of corrosion in the open. Sam Bankman-Fried donated $500 million and they thanked them. He stole $500 billion and they gently spanked them. Derek Chauvin got 22 years and they shanked them. More lies come and be patient. They tell you George is a saint and Don is Satan. But if he was Satan, the Satanists would praise him. Imagine billionaire president having a criminal court case just because his lawyer slept with a horse face. When I watch the news in 4K, it's too clear. I could finally see justice has two tiers. All these years, the TV must have lied. Now I'm just sitting here mystified. What happened to Dr. Jill and Mr. Hyde? When they shot Trump, I think he died. And he came back because I'm certain he ain't the same person that they aimed at.
This is I think this is bannable content. This is bannable raps.
Is that?
Some of it, no. Not for my show. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying we're fine. I'm saying we're fine, but we're fine for my show. I'm saying this could be censorable, like this is consciousness raising lyrics. They don't want it out there.
Well, I didn't want to write that. You know what? People in the last time I wrote lyrics, people in the comments, I said I didn't want to say any political raps, and they go, yeah, but you'll rap about getting pussy and this and that, and I said, wow. They got a point. So even though I'm not too crazy about these lyrics, I wrote them just for the crowd, just so they just give me a little, like, ease up on the... And the only thing I liked there was that I think he died and came back because I'm certain he isn't the same person that they aimed at. You know, that's a life-changing thing. Like, Jesse's big on... Jesse calls it... Does he call it near death? What does Jesse call it?
I'm not sure. I may have heard him mention a near-death experience.
Yeah, and I've called in once and I told him about near death, and I was wrong. I had life flashing before your eyes, and I think what Trump had was like a life flashing before your eyes, not so much near death, because I think near death is when you're like on the table, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like you're not breathing.
They say
I think life flashing before your eyes could be life changing as well.
Well, I think it's all closely related with death because they say your life flashes before your eyes before you die. And so I think it's all closely related.
Those flows were just for the chat so they could...
raise their consciousness and stop judging.
No, it's not consciousness. It's kind of goofy. I don't even like that stuff.
I'm messing around.
That stuff is kind of goofy.
Yeah, conscious rap, conscious lyrics. No, I'm messing around.
Yeah, but they say, why can't you write that? And it's like, that's how it sounds. It's not that good. It's not, it's like, I don't know. Oh, into the Trump stuff, everyone with the dream team. What's your take on the dream team?
The dream team, when you talk about RFK?
The Avengers.
The Avengers.
What do you call it? Listen, here's what I'm seeing. Tulsi, Democrat.
What's Tulsi bringing?
RFK, they're saying they're bringing her in. You didn't see this?
I saw her, yeah, but I saw RFK kind of brings to the table.
A Democrat.
Yeah.
Tulsi, Democrat. RFK Democrat, J.D. Vance, never Trumper, who's such close friends with Ramaswamy that he named his son Ramaswamy.
He did?
Yes.
What the?
J.D. Vance's wife went to college with Ramaswamy. And when I told someone this, and I said that...
He said, oh, yeah, he named his son Vivek. That's right.
I said he named him after Ramaswamy. You know what someone said? It's probably his son. I said, what the hell?
Wait, what? Yeah, he named his son Vivek, and you're telling me Vivek was a school... A
friend of J.D. Vance's
friend
wife.
of J.D. Vance
So
or
this
Usha?
is a dream team. This is a
wait.
dream
Was
team.
Was Vivek Ramaswamy a friend of Usha or J.D. Vance back in the day?
Usha's his wife.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
how
Usha's
they
his
got
wife.
you even knowing her name. Who is this person that you know her name? Celebrity status over. If they have celebrity status overnight, it's crazy.
Yeah, you don't know Usha household name.
Yeah,
J.D. Vance's wife. Was Vivek Ramaswamy J.D. Vance's wife's
Best
friend or J.D. Vance's?
Wife.
With
No,
his wife?
The wife.
And the wife named... Whose idea was it?
That's what my friend joked.
What
he
the
said,
heck?
it's probably Vivek's son. I said, that's so funny.
That's like my wife really wanting to name like some old flame or male friend of hers back in high school or college, like our son's naming him after him. Like, no.
Can
Maybe
we
if
name
it was
after
my friend.
ex-boyfriend? No, can we name it after my ex-boyfriend? That's a great idea. Musk. That's a Democrat. So that's not such a dream team. I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
No, I
hit you with these?
I think the
Can I hit you with these jokes?
Wait, that was a joke?
Let me hit you with these jokes. Keep it moving. I have some jokes. Can I hit you with them?
Yeah, go. And then we got to end.
You can end it now if you. But the jokes are pretty good.
No, because we're overtime. But hit the jokes.
Okay. After a year of being unemployed, my girlfriend left me, and like a year later, last week I finally get a job. I'm at my new job, and what do you think? The first thing she does, she calls me. I hear her voice. She says, "Hey." I'm like, wow, she wants me back. I can't believe it. She wants me back. I knew it wasn't over. And I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm at work. I say, what do you want? She says, let me get a large pie, extra cheese, pepperoni, and a chicken Parmesan color hero delivery.
Damn.
Any good?
At least he's working. It's got a dry darkness to it that I like.
Darkness. Oh,
it's got you know what I mean? Because it's like hopes and dreams dashed, and in such a relatable way. Ordering pizza, it's got a dark humor to it.
Damn, sucks. I want to just be laughter, but maybe they're all the same.
You said what?
Maybe they're all the same. All the jokes I'm at. Can I hit you with more? Or let's call it a day.
One more. We're gonna call it after that.
And I'd rather talk to you. Everything's been going good so far, Nick. Everything sounds good. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
Any
Hey,
topics?
it's nice to hear from you, man.
Any topics you want me to touch on?
Right now? No, we're over time,
Yeah,
man.
anything-
We could definitely table it for the next one, man.
Awesome, Nick. Great show. And Fred, I don't mean to harp on you. It's not personal. I think it's like more of like an in-depth look at someone who's successful and can't get out of the allure of being oppressed. You're successful, you're doing good. Just be what you are. Yeah, and I don't know if that makes sense, but just I don't know.
No, you're describing further where you're coming from, man. And it's coming from a place. Frederick is coming from a place of non-judgment. Can you tell? Appreciate it. Your call,
I like
man.
Fred. Fred. I want to tune into his
me
show too. He's a man.
Yeah, me too.
I love that he calls you, and shout out to Jaime too, because that Jaime should be on the payroll. He calls so much. I'm thinking when Jaime calls, does he charge you per minute?
We have the Jaime button when we need a call. We're looking for a call. I'm floundering. I'm sweating. I'm like, I need a call. I'm hitting the button. No, I'm joking around.
All right.
Jaime's there. Jaime's about it. Appreciate that, sir, and appreciate your call, man. Call me again.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, that's nice. Appreciate the support, y'all, and the calls and the super chats. Let's see if we're missing anything before we say goodbye. We have Open Line Friday tomorrow. We're gonna end off the week Bond Network style with Hake Report, The Fallen State, and Anchor, baby. We're taking a flight. Okay. So that's the plan. Appreciate everybody. Take care. I'm out. See you tomorrow. Okay? Like and subscribe on your way out. It'd be nice. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss tomorrow's flight. All right, y'all? Always a pleasure. Take care.